What is going on, ICBA fans? My name is Frosty, aka the Alpha Lycanroc, and welcome to week 1 of the ICBA, the International Competitive Battling Association. So it is week 1, and we are ready for our first week, and our first week is going to be against forgive me if I missay this. It is Chiangi77 and his Brisbane Heatrans. Excuse me. My throat's all over the board today, so I'm going to be just coughing up stuff left and right here. But he has a very, very good team. Has definite, very scary threats on that team. As his first pick overall was Landorus I, so definitely one of the scariest mons to ever have to battle is a Landorus I. With that, he is also with Tyranitar, Tangrowth, Slowking, Crobat, Heliolisk, Druddigon, Azumarill, Rotom, Klefki, and Audino. And his Z-Mons, his Z-Captains are Azumarill, Tyranitar, and Heliolisk. Now, with this, as you can see, we have our mascot Alpha, our nice and shiny Rockruff, legit Rockruff, when I was actually doing shiny hunting. So legitly actually caught him, probably like, I don't know, 2 weeks after the game came out, something like that. I don't know, but he's gonna be there cheering us on. He knows we have a tough match. He knows that the team is looking definitely scary, as he does have that regenerator core of Tangrowth and Slowking. I did want Tangrowth, and this is the man who took it from me, as I did want that as part of my core. But he definitely has some very big scary threats, as the Tyranitar and the Landorus pair together very well, especially with Sandforce. He also does have that Azumarill, and that is a Z-Captain Azumarill, so I do need to be careful for Belly Drum Azumarill, Z-Belly Drum Azumarill, as that could definitely play very bad for us. He does have the regenerator core, like I said, of Tangrowth and Slowking. So with that, we are going to get in, and I brought the best team I felt I was going to be able to bring, starting with our first Mon, Shiva. Now, Shiva here is, against his team, actually matches up very, very well. There's not a lot of things that take ice or dark very well. His regenerator core is actually weak to both of the stabs of Shiva, which is why I decided to bring it. My Shiva is 252 in speed and 252 in attack, with a jolly nature to get me the speed that I need. I believe I'm faster in pretty much everything on the team, minus that. I think, yeah, no, I'm actually faster than everything on the team. As he does not have a Mon that is speed tiered higher than my 115 Shiva here. And so with that, I'm also rocking the moves Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and Low Kick. Low Kick with the Expert Belt. With that Expert Belt, it does one-shot a non-defensive... it basically one-shots an offensive Tyranitar, and then Icicle Crash one-shots defensive Tangrowth. Knockoff does lots of damage to Slowking, and then Ice Shard for priority, as Ice Shard will one-shot the Lando I. So it will one-shot that Lando I with an Expert Belt. If I was Life Orb, it would do the same thing, but I didn't want to lose a lot of HP, especially if rocks get up on my side of the field. I don't want to limit the amount of times that I could bring him in and use him. So with that, we're going to be going on to our next Mon, which I hope I do this right. Nope. There we go. Gurren, our Mega Scizor. Now, our Mega Scizor is an Adamant Mega Scizor. Ability says Swarm, but it doesn't matter, because as soon as I Mega Evolve, it's going to be Technician. And he's going to be rocking U-Turn, Bullet Punch, Swords Dance, and Roost. Swords Dance is a late game win con, as at +2, it pretty much rolls through most of his team as long as he doesn't have that Landorus, as long as the Landorus is gone. So if the Landorus is out of the way, and these... luckily, his regenerator wall is also weak to bug as well, so I definitely am glad about that, because this will that means a +2 U-turn will do massive amounts of damage to both defensive Tangrowth and to possibly even defensive Slowking. So with that, like I said, this is my late game sweeper. This has 252 Adamant Nature, and it has 164 speed investment. Now, this is just enough speed that after Mega Evolution, I'm going to get to 118. Now, at 118, I outspeed Adamant Nature full speed invested Tyranitar. Now, if it's Jolly, I didn't want to fully overinvest, but I felt that would be that would be enough, that if he went with the Jolly, I would know that he's full invested via Jolly and all of that. So I wanted to make sure that I outsped at least Adamant Nature, because my Adamant Nature Bullet Punches will do at least a clean 60 to 70% to all of that. And I wanted to make sure that I had that. And then 92 in the HP, which gives me a nice 157 HP stat there. So this is definitely, like I said, my late game win con, as I wanted that for for if I get Landorus and a couple of other mons out of the way. So next, we're going to be bringing Toph, our Landorus T. Now this is Choice Scarf Landorus T, Hasty Nature, with U-Turn Earthquake knockoff and Hidden Power Ice. This is basically meant to, if Lando I comes in, takes a couple of sets of rocks damage, he will be put in range at about 70 to 80% of being KO'd, depending on his investments to special defense, being KO'd by Hidden Power Ice. So this is a Hidden Power Ice Landorus, as I do have 148 speed with a Jolly Nature, as this with the Scarf is guaranteed to have me outspeed pretty much everything on the team. Some HP investments. Wait, I still have extra investments? Oh, wow. Okay, I guess I didn't fully invest. I need to make sure. So I guess I had some EV investments that weren't there. But whatever. Things happen. So with that, we have 80 HP just to get me up to an odd number. I like having an odd number of HP. We have 252 in the attack. We are at a minus defense nature, so we're not going to be taking any sort of that, but he doesn't have anything that hits on the physical side with ice stabs, or priority or anything like that. Most of it is all ice, like Ice Beam and stuff like that. So, and then like I said, 148 Jolly Nature, it's 44 special attack, but I believe it was supposed to be 100. At 100, it's almost guaranteed. As I would have 138 in special attack, and I would have enough to pretty much KO it from just about 80% on. So I must have missed that on when I was doing this. But anyways, so Toph is coming first time to the first match this season. Basically, it's just there as a turner for now. If I need to, like I said, it's there kind of as a Lando eye check and counter. Should it get down to within that range, and I know I could do it. So. Next from there, we're bringing our Fajita, our Heatran. Now this is a specially defensive invested, but speed invested, HP invested Heatran. So there's nothing in the attacks, nothing in the defenses, but there is a little bit of special defense, as I gave 124 with the special defensive nature, and this is also going to be rocking a Shuka Berry, as this will allow me to eat one Lando Eye attack and allow me to get off some good massive damage, or possibly even toxic, to get that thing in within range. I am a little worried about Rock Polish Lando Eye. It is a problem. It is a possibility. That's why I gave it enough HP investments to deal with everything that it had to deal with. So, and like I said, 116 outspeeds Adamant Natured Tyranitar, as I won't have anything to hit it for any sizable amount of damage, but with rocks and toxic, I can wear it down. I mean, all of that. So, definitely a check to. It is definitely a check to Tangrowth, as I can almost freely move it in as long as it's not fully physical attack Tangrowth. So, next from there, we are bringing Tide AG, our Rotom Wash. This is our specially defensive Rotom Wash. This has 76 in speed, as to get me to that 116 speed tier, as I will outspeed that, like I said, Adamant Tyranitar. It has 72 in the HPs, and then 252 with a special defense nature, Calm Nature. So, and this will be rocking Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, and Pain Split. Volt Switch is just there to get turn momentum. Pain Split for, kind of regaining health. Will-O-Wisp because it's Will-O-Wisp. Why not get some more defensives if we can? And then Hydro Pump because I wanted a strong stab that could do massive damage to anything that pretty much gets brought in. So from there, we go to our last mon. Our last mon is Fuka, our Ditto. Now this is my anti-Lando Eye counter. I have EV'd this. I have IV'd this thing to guarantee Hidden Power Ice. It is, just the standard Ditto set that you see. It's, 248, 252, relaxed in nature, because it doesn't matter about its speed, since it's going to be stealing the stats of the others with a Choice Scarf. So with that, I definitely wanted to make sure that I had Hidden Power Ice, as if his Landorus does have Hidden Power. I do want to make sure that I can reverse sweep this with Fuka here, as this is my counter to his sweepers. Also, this is also a counter to Z-Belly Drum Azumarill, as that I know that it could be a very big problem. And if he's at +4 at 50%, and I have a Scarf, and I bring this thing in and I steal it, I can go with Aqua Jet, and I could pretty much KO his Mon, because I'll be faster, and I'm guaranteed to do some massive damage to other Mons on the board there. So from there, we have our team, and it consists of Fuka, Tide HE, Fajita, Toph, Gurren, and Shiva. So next with that, let's bring up the match and let's see how we did. Alright guys, we're back, and here it is. We have our replay for our battle against Chiangi, aka Matt, and as you can see on the team preview screen, it's actually a lot different than what I thought it was going to bring. I really was expecting that Lando I, as I felt it was a big threat to my team, but apparently he felt it. My team was a big threat to it, so he did not bring it this week, which I am happy about, but he did bring that Azumarill, which I was really worried about at the end of team building because of Z-Belly Drum Azumarill. He did bring the Druddigon, the Klefki. The Rotom was a little bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting the Rotom, as I was expecting the Regenerator Core, but he did bring half of that, and then the Heliolisk was kind of a half and half one. I wasn't sure if he'd bring or not. So with that, we're going to get into the match. We're going to see how it went, and here we go as we get into the match, and Matt initiates the challenge. Now, my lead for this is always to lead with Heatran, because I noticed from the title screen that he does not have a rock remover. He does not have a defogger or a spinner, so my immediate plan is to go into Fajita as he goes into this Heliolisk, and my thing is to get up these rocks ASAP, as I want to get them up as fast as possible, as he actually reveals Surf. Now, I forgot this thing got Surf, but luckily I am specially defensively invested, but this will be a 3-hit KO. So he does know that I have a little bit of investment, so now I have the rocks up, and they are there to stay, which is going to be very good for us because we do need that. So here at the side, I'm going to switch out, and I want to scout for Dry Skin. So I'm going to go into Fuka, my Ditto, as I think another Surf is coming, and I want to scout for that Dry Skin. So I go into Fuka for scouting. I turn into the Heliolisk, which is good for us, but he ends up revealing the Z move. So he did bring a Z move, which this is Z Heliolisk Thunderbolt. As I did from the set, and I noticed from the set that he had Hidden Power, Surf, Thunderbolt, and Hyper Voice. So I did get to scout that set, which was good information to know for later on, that he did have the Hyper Voice for that. But he does go for the Gigavolt Havoc, and luckily enough, we eat that at about little less than half, so about 48-49%. So here I just decided I'm going to switch out. I don't know what's going on, but I want to get into Tide, as I'm expecting him to go for maybe something else. I could have gone for a Hyper Voice there. It wouldn't have been bad, but he actually withdraws here and goes into his Tangrowth. Now, the problem with this is that I don't know what kind of Tangrowth this is. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know if it's Assault Vest. So I just want to Volt Switch. I know I'm faster. This will allow me to tell. And by that damage, I know this is Assault Vested Tangrowth. This is definitely Assault Vested Tangrowth. Hugely, specially defensively invested. But I still don't know if it's physical, and I didn't want to leave it in. So I decided to leave it in as he reveals knockoff, showing that he is a physical Tangrowth. So I could have gone for Willow there, and it would have been a very good shape for us, as he would have had to do that. So here I just decided to bring in Scizor, and I Mega Evolve my Scizor. I decided I just want to turn out, as I don't know if he's rocking the HP Fire for this thing. I don't want to take no chances for it. So I do U-turn, and I do a good, clean chunk of damage, but we do miss the KO by about 12%. So here I just decide I'm going to go into Fajita. If he has the Earthquake, I do have the Shuka Berry. I should live it. I have a lot of bulk, but this will then scare him out after this, as he does reveal the Earthquake. I eat my Shuka Berry, and we do take a decent amount of damage because we don't have those investments in the physical defense, but we still live it on 46, which is good for us. So here, I just decide I'm going to go for the Lava Plume, as I have a 30% chance as he brings in his Druddigon here, which getting this thing burned would be really good, especially since, excuse me, especially since I see Mold Breaker. So I'm assuming this is a attack, and excuse me, an attack version of Druddigon. But it then shows the leftovers, which is a little weird to me, so because I'm uncertain. I'm like, okay, maybe it could be a sub. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to go for Toxic here, as I know I'm faster. I'm faster than this Druddigon guaranteed, unless he's like full invested. I'm just kind of sacking off my Heatran at this point, as I want to get the Toxic on, as to put this thing on timer. But he just gets up his Stealth Rocks here. So he's got the rocks up to stay. I've got the rocks up to stay. It was a good move on his part, so that way I get chipped and he gets chipped. Now it just becomes who can do more damage. So here I just decide I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse. I'm gonna try and get these flinches, being a scummy Haxlor bastard that I can be. And I go for the Dark Pulse, mainly because it's not doing anything and he resists it, and he's not gonna get burned by the Lava Plume, so Lava Plume's not gonna do anything. But he goes for Roar, roars me out, which was a little weird because this does save my Heatran, which is very, very nice. So maybe he didn't have a move for it. So here I bring in my Toph, as I do get the Intimidate off, which is nice, or Toph gets dragged out. So here I don't really see a reason in staying, But I do want to try and knock off those leftovers. I do know that he is poisoned, but I want to try and get this thing within range of another poison. So I just thought I'm going to get another knockoff off. If he has the Ice Fang or Ice Punch, then he's going to have it, but he's at -1, so I will survive it. As he just goes for the Roar again, and I believe he roars me out into Tide here. He does. He roars me out into my Rotom Wash. But he is now within range of poison damage, and picking up the first KO of the match is going to be Fajita or Heatran via toxic damage. So luckily enough, that knockoff put him within range of that toxic damage. So Fajita picks up the first KO here, which I am happy about. So he goes into Ghost EV here. I don't know what kind of set this thing is. So I know from this range, I have a good chance of possibly knocking it out. So I go for Hydro Pump, but I miss. As it is, Hacks is what it is. So he goes for the Will-O-Wisp as he wants to start negating my leftovers, which is fine. You know, it happens. But this also shows me that he's a probably more offensive set, because when I brought up the set, Hex was one of the first ones that got brought up on the set list. So I have to assume that he has the Hex and he's an offensive set. So on this one, here I go first as it shows that I am faster. But as the match goes on, I actually realize that I'm not faster, we're actually speed tied. So it just so happens that I'm going faster than him on these few turns, but he ends up beating me on another couple of turns. So he, with my leftovers in the burn, he actually misses out on the KO. He will actually get me close, but he will not KO me unless he high rolls hugely on this next turn. But I ate that up pretty good, and I should be able to live another one. So he goes for the Thunder Wave. I'm not for certain. I think he was expecting me to switch out, but I just go for Pain Split as I was expecting another one of those, another Hex, as this will now put me a little bit higher, right around the same HP level, but this will also put him a little bit lower, and since he has a burn and he doesn't have leftovers, he's going to get whittled down a lot faster than me. So with that, now he's guaranteed within range of Hydro Pump. So I thought about it, and he just decides to go out and go into his Ratchet as I go for the Hydro Pump here, because I know it's a KO. And as he goes into it, I went, it was a good play, as I know he's probably dry skin, and this does reveal it as I anticipated this would be. That is why I switched into Ditto on turn 2, was because I was scouting for that dry skin and I wanted to know. So here, I believe I just want to go, and I'm going to sack off Heatran, as I just want to see kind of what he's going to do, and this will give me a free switch into something else. I could scare him out with Toph afterwards. So I go into Fajita, I'm going to take the Rocks damage. And he's going to go for the Hyper Voice. It doesn't matter that it's resisted. It is it's Stab Hyper Voice, and I'm at 26 HP, so there's no way he doesn't KO me from here. So fortunately, Heatran does get a kill via the Toxic, but does get taken out because I had to sack something off. But I go into Top here, and I'm expecting to scare this thing out. So I'm expecting this thing to get out because it doesn't want to chance me going for the Earthquake. So I just decide on this turn that I can turn and get it and keep the momentum in my favor. But he actually shocks me by staying in. So he stays in. It does a clean 50%, but now I realize I now have to sack something else off, because I was not expecting him to stay in as I go into Tide, and I know Tide can take 2 Hyper Voices here. As he goes for Surf on this one, trying to take out my Lando. Maybe he thought he didn't know I was Scarfed, so he goes for that. As I know, I can live 1 Hyper Voice at this range. I can live 1 Hyper Voice. With all my investments, I can live 1 Hyper Voice at this range. So I just decide I'm going to go for the burn, as I'm going to try to whittle this thing down. I could have gone for, I guess I couldn't go for Hydro Pump, and I didn't want to switch in on the Rocks. I would never survive it again. I guess I could have gone for Pain Split just to do Pain Split and be shenaniganless, but he would have killed me on the next turn anyways, as I felt the burn over time would have done the same amount as doing a Pain Split. So here I just go for it. He is guaranteed on timer now, and that's the best way I can think of it for it to happen. So he's burned, I'm burned, I have leftovers, but he's just getting mine's negated by the burn. So here he just goes for Thunderbolt. He knows he's gonna knock me out. I just was going for Volt Switch because I knew he was gonna knock me out here. And Tide drops as we still have we're down 5-4, but we have a good amount of stuff here going. As I go into Shiva, as I know I am faster than this thing. I am going to take the Rocks damage. So here I just go for knockoff. I know it's a guaranteed KO. If he switches anything in, he's going to lose an item, which is fine by me. So I do take out the Heliolisk because Shiva picks up a KO, and it is now 4-4, I believe. Is it 4-4? Yeah, it's something like that. It's 4-4 or 3-4. But here he goes into keys, but he makes the aggressive double and goes into no power, which is the Azumarill. I was just going for Icicle Crash here to kind of get some damage, and if he had brought this thing in, but I missed the Icicle Crash, so I missed Hydro Pump and Icicle Crash. But here I just go for knockoff, as I don't want this thing to be banded, and if it is banded, it would be a problem, as he actually does show he is banded. So I was able to knock off that band. I am gonna lose Shiva to superpower though, so it does suck. It was a guaranteed KO, but now he is at a -1 defense and a -1 attack, and he no longer has his choice band. So now I can go in to my late game win con, which is Scizor, as now I know I can get it to +2 at this range. So I know he can't touch me. He doesn't have anything that would do enough damage. I can roost up on it. He makes the switch out, and he goes into Ghost Eevee as I go for the Swords Dance. So here at +2, I'm pretty much guaranteed to KO most of the mons that he has left on his team, especially at the range that they're at. So they've all taken damage. So I'm guaranteed to KO this thing. Even if it was full HP, I'm still guaranteed a +2 to KO it. As I go for the bullet punches, I'm going to just KO this thing. It doesn't matter that it resists it. I'm at +2. It doesn't matter. So so Scizor picks up a kill and just obliterates it here. And next he goes into the Klefki. Now this one is a roll, and it is a 50-50 roll at this point at the HP is at. So Bullet Punch is a 50% chance to KO, as I go for the Bullet Punch, and we miss the KO. And he goes for Foul Play, and I'm scared here because I know I have a chance, and I'm at +2, I have a chance of getting killed, but I live on 10. So my little HP investment's coming in handy, as now he no longer has anything that can deal with my Scizor. He has nothing that outspeeds it, as I guarantee because of all my speed investments to outspeed. And Scizor ends up sweeping up the rest of this game on these next 2 turns, as he only has 2 mons left. So he goes into Azumarill. Azumarill here is well within range of getting killed by a +2. Especially because it takes it as neutral damage due to its typing, but there was no way he was living that. Even at almost full HP at +2, he was getting bodied. And then he goes into Tangrowth, and just to guarantee the Tangrowth kill, I go for U-turn here as just to guarantee the kill. So with that, our Gurren here, showing his spiral energy there. Anybody who's a Gurren Lagann fan, and picks up 4 KOs in his week 1 appearance. So as it is, we do win by 3-0 fashion, as we take a 3-0 win in 26 turns. So I think it was a very good match for us. It showed us a lot. Scizor definitely excuse me. Scizor definitely put in the work. I knew it would be a late game win con, depending on his team. Sneasel, it sucks that I had to sack you off. I just didn't want to take a choice banded Aqua Jet via Landorus. You know, even if I got it at -1, I just didn't want to take a +1 Aqua Jet at that. So I had to go for the knockoff just to, because I knew you could possibly survive it. Or if anything, it would tell me that it was banned. But Shiva picks up a kill. Fajita picks up a kill via Toxic, and then Scizor sweeps up the rest with 4. And so it was a very good showing for us in the week 1 match, as we take a 3-0 victory over the Brisbane Heatrans. This puts us, I believe, in about the #1 spot in our conference. Is it conference or division? In our divisional conference is what I should say. So with that, I am happy with how that went. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy that, please like, comment, subscribe as always. And yeah, I lost track of where I was going. What was I doing? I don't know why. You ever do that? You ever be in the middle of saying something and just lose track of what you were talking about? All right, whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like, comment, subscribe as always. Please come back next week as we battle one of the toughest coaches out there. Is next week we have the unfortunate luck of battling 6-foot Hacks and his Durham Dredigan, so we definitely need to prepare for that, and we need to bring our A game for that. Otherwise we will lose, and I do not want to lose. I would like to give 6-foot Hacks a very good match. So please like, comment, subscribe as always. If you liked the video, share it on social media, and I will see you guys next week with our week 2 battle of the ICBA. So have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you guys around. All right.